Hola mis conejitos, ¿cómo estás, mi amor Alicia? Hello my bunnies, how are you? My name is Allison, and today we are playing Nancy Drew, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. And if memory serves me, we are a senior detective. Yes. And Tino decided to frame John Gray. Well, we don't know technically if he's framing John or not. We just know that he found one of John's thermostats from here and placed it. Well, this is my hypothesis. I don't really know for sure, but we know that he found one of the thermostats from that box near the emergency brake. So he's assuming that John Gray took the emergency brake.
So are you making any progress in here?
Oh yeah, not only am I getting some real unusual EMRs, that's electromagnetic readings, but take a look at this.
Alright, so here's one of the options. This is actually something that will affect the game. This is actually one of those moments where it can actually change the gameplay. Because she said we have two options. Frankly, I'm not into this ghost stuff, so I think I'll pass. If you choose this one, you will never get any ghost tidbits or any really cool ghost stuff that you'd be able to look at from John Gray. If you choose You've Got Something, then he will now and then bring you over to his location and show you something that's super cool. And I am actually going to choose You've Got Something, because seriously, I think there are some pretty interesting things that you guys should see.
You've got something?
I set up a camera and took some time-lapse photos. Sometimes I was in the room, sometimes I wasn't, but somewhere along the line, I managed to get a shot of Camille.
Where? You don't mean that little blob, do you?
Yep, that's Camille.
Okay.
You're skeptical. That's cool. Just remember, the key word when it comes to ghostly phenomena is energy. That blob is the result of Camille's residual life force, spirit if you will, reacting with the chemicals in the photographic paper.
Couldn't it just be a flaw in the photographic paper?
Okay, it could be that too, but it's not. Trust me.
Or it could be Jake Hurley.
Are you by any chance missing a small digital thermometer?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. When I went through the box I'd packed them in, that one over there, I came up one short. I was hoping to set up at least 6 in here so I could check for cold spots. How did you know I was missing one?
Because Tino Balducci found it by the emergency brake handle when he was dusting it for fingerprints, and now he thinks you're the one who pulled it.
That's ridiculous. I didn't have any reason to pull the emergency brake.
Is it true that your show is in danger of being canceled?
Newsflash, my show was canceled. Happened last night. But what nobody knows yet is that it's been picked up by a major TV network. Not only am I still on the air, but I'm sitting prettier than ever. Any other questions?
That's pretty cool. Major TV network? Is it a network we're familiar with?
Were you in this room the whole time prior to that emergency brake thing?
Of course not. I made a couple of trips to my compartment in the sleeping car to get more equipment. But did I get an overpowering urge to pull the emergency brake while I was there? No.
I'll let you get back to work.
I believe
Take care.
I believe him. Alright, I feel like I'm missing something. I mean, I know there's the stove that we need to open. I'm just gonna double check on everything just to make sure that I have everything done, because otherwise we would not be on this train right now. Whoops, did I spoil that?
Before you say anything, I just want to say thank you.
For what?
Tino came to see me. He said you'd made him realize what a jerk he'd been for dumping me, and then he asked me out. Isn't that great? He said he doesn't care what anybody else thinks. He thinks we make the perfect couple.
Well, I can't argue with him there.
So what do you want?
Do you have any idea who threw the emergency brake?
I know exactly who did it.
How do you know?
Well, who else could it be? Camille. None of us has any reason to stop the train but Camille. She doesn't want us to find Jake's mine, so she's going to do whatever she can to keep its location a secret.
Did you see something?
Well, no. But I'll tell you what. Your friend, that Jim Harley guy?
Not Jim, Joe Hardy.
Yeah, well, he thinks it's Camille, too. He just doesn't have the guts to say so.
We'll talk some more later.
I'll be waiting.
It's actually pretty true. Alright, so we did those dolls. We got that drawer open. We did the dance shoes. We did that and got that engine or map piece. Yeah, nothing else in here. Okay. So how are you all doing today, everyone? My little bunnies. Alright, so we got... Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. There is... Carson's carbide. We will need that when we get the lamp. So wait, did we get that tiger's eye? Yeah, we did. See, I don't think there was anything in there. That's covered. That's done. We already got the gemstone from here. Yeah. Why don't we talk to Charlene?
More questions?
Would you like to see the letter that Lori gave me as a reward for finding her?
The one in which Jake Hurley supposedly tells his niece how to find his lost mine? No, thank you. I happily leave it to you to try to solve the mystery of his disappearance. You can afford to look foolish, dear. I can't.
She sorta can? I mean, she's pretty famous.
Do you have a theory as to who pulled the emergency brake?
Well, I know it wasn't me. I assume it wasn't you, and I highly doubt it was Lori. So that leaves those two friends of yours, Mr. Gray and Mr. Balducci.
Have you run across many haunted train stories in the course of your research?
A few, but most train-bound ghosts that I've come across seem to have better things to do than sit around pulling emergency brakes.
Yeah,
Were you able to find the name of Jake's train engineer?
I came across 3 references to the fact that Jake had an engineer, but I'm afraid none of them included his name. I failed. Sorry.
Aren't you even going to try finding out what happened to Jake Hurley?
No time. The only reason I haven't insisted that Lori release me from all this silliness is there's always the possibility that what happened to him has the makings of a bestseller, although I highly doubt it.
Why are you so sure that Jake's story wouldn't make a bestseller?
His story is an all too common one.
Pretty much.
A man wanders off into the desert in search of gold and never returns. Why? He either doesn't have enough food or water, or he encounters hostile natives.
Or it could be both. Or it could be something completely different. Espionage.
But why was his train found out in the middle of nowhere with just the dead engineer on board?
That does make the story a little more interesting. My guess is the engineer got tired of waiting for Jake to return, took off in the train to get help, and died of a heart attack along the way, after which the train rolled to a stop in Blue Moon Canyon. Anyone experienced enough to single-handedly run a steam engine would have been quite a bit older than Jake.
That's true.
What do you think happened to Camille?
She probably died of something mundane like pneumonia or even measles. Now, if it was wintertime when she died, and they were in the mountains, Jake no doubt kept her body on the train for months before he buried her, which is rather delicious in a morbid sort of way.
I should get going.
My publisher thanks you.
Alright, so we're going to go to the stove and...
James Thurston.
Voila. I hereby agree to pay James Thurston the sum of $9 a week plus room and board in return for his services as the engineer. Oh, that's right. Wait, that was his insignia. Nice. I should have it. Yeah.
Nancy, you missed it.
Missed what?
The argument of the century.
Joe, he's exaggerating.
Aw, come on, you heard them. They were ready to tear each other to shreds.
Who?
Charlena and Lori.
All we heard was the tail end of it, and unfortunately we really couldn't make out what they were saying.
So you don't know what they were arguing about?
No.
But whatever it was, both of them were absolutely out of their minds, livid.
And it would probably be a good idea to find out why.
Let me look into it. I'll talk to you later, okay?
You know where to find us.
Aw. Okay, well, let's talk to Lori first before talking to Charlena about it, because seriously. I want to know from... Because we're going to be getting, of course, different responses from both of them. So, I just would rather hear Lori first before hearing Charlena's bitter mouth about it. Because the last time we talked to Charlena about Lori's ideas, she kind of was abrupt and rude.
Yes?
I understand that you and Charlena had a big argument earlier.
That's an understatement.
I was under the impression that you practically worshipped her.
Let's just say my idol turned out to have dirty feet.
You mean feet of clay?
Whatever. Let's either talk about something else or not talk at all, okay?
Guess I better get to work.
You go, girl.
She didn't want to talk about it. That's interesting. I want the rock and roll. Ow. Good I do not know the words to the song. Such an old time of rock and roll. Yeah, I'm dumb.
More questions?
What were you and Lori arguing about earlier today?
Lori and I? We weren't arguing. We were simply discussing a topic about which both of us are passionate, that's all.
Oh,
Were you
passionate,
discussing her
alright.
wanting to be a romance novelist?
No. And even if we were, that's really none of your business. I know that sounds harsh, but really, Nancy, eavesdropping is so tacky.
Actually, it was Frank and Joe Hardy who overheard you. They said I should talk to you before they gave me all the gory details, but since you obviously don't want to tell me your side of the story, I'll just have to get the scoop from them.
No, you
Ouch.
don't have to do that. A storyline that Lori submitted to me found its way into my last book, despite the fact that she never received compensation for it. She's reading the book now, and when she got to that part, she freaked.
You stole one of her ideas?
She had no business sending me unsolicited material.
That's the word.
But technically, yes. Now, legally, she can't prove anything, and I'm certainly not about to admit anything, and it's not as if she needs the money. But that's what we were arguing about. For what it's worth, I'm going to talk to this producer I know to see if he'll cast Lori in his next movie. It'll help ease my conscience, and who knows? She could wind up being a star. I mean, she is blonde.
Ouch. That's a burn to the blonde community. But seriously, unsolicited, that's the word. But legally, I think she can prove it. If she still has the, if she still has contact information of when they were exchanging, of when she sent those ideas to her.
Well, I'll let you go.
All right, then.
I'm gonna try talking to Lori one more time just to see. Because, honestly, I remember Lori saying more stuff than that. And if not, then I probably never checked in with her. What the? Hey, stop it! So, I think after this, we're going to talk to Frank and Joe, and talking to them should change the path of the game.
Yes?
Bye.
I'll be waiting.
Really? Alright, fine. Frustrating. wonder if we can talk to Tino about...
Ah, I can't stay mad at a fellow detective. What do you need?
You've been a big help.
Don't mention it.
I thought we could talk to him more about the emergency brake, but I guess not.
Hey, glad you stopped in. You gotta listen to this.
Again, this is another factor that will change the game. I'm choosing this because I
What have
want
you got?
you guys to hear
I
it.
put this digital recorder in the corner where Camille showed up in that picture and turned it on so it would just keep recording. Now when you play it back at normal volume, all you hear is
So
background noise.
I'm gonna stay silent.
But when you turn the volume way up and run the signal through a filter or two,
I hear something. It kind of sounds like a woman singing.
not just any woman, Camille.
Camille.
So be careful what you say in here. She's listening.
I know, right? Okay,
Thanks
so
for the chat.
Take care.
what I am going to do is put this video file through the audio software that I have and up the volume on that, because I seriously want you guys to hear that. It is amazing. Even if it is fake, it is amazing.
Hey, how's it going?
Tino found one of John Gray's thermometers by the emergency brake handle and is getting ready to throw the book at him.
John Gray threw the emergency brake? Why would he do that?
That was my first question, which makes me wonder if maybe Tino's the one who's up to something.
I still say there's less to all this than meets the eye, if you get my drift.
I get your drift, Joe. I have lived with your drift for years. I am
saddled
saddled
with your
your
drift.
drift.
All right, all right.
I think I know the name of Jake Hurley's engineer, James Thurston.
Great! What else do you know about him?
Well, nothing.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, finding out more about him will give us something to do. We'll look into it.
Talk to you later.
If you need anything, just let us know.
What? How could there be... How could there be more for us to do?
Engineer,
Hi, I'm Nancy Drew. I talked to you before, very briefly.
you're not the one who pulled the emergency brake, are ya?
No.
Good. Because if you were, I'd have to come back there and throttle you. Old as this train is, it's a wonder it stayed on the tracks.
Yeah.
You
Is there any way that brake could have been activated accidentally?
You pull on the handle, the wheels lock. You don't pull on the handle, they don't lock. Did somebody pull on the handle by mistake? I guess it's possible, but if you ask me, anybody that stupid has no business being on a train, or anywhere else for that matter. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta get back to work.
Alright, now keep in mind of that voice. I want to show you guys something, because if you remember in one of the earlier videos, Lori explained how she got away from the crowd when we were all at the table. This little button right here.
So, Lori pushed that button, slid the shelves open further, squeezed through, and disappeared. Very clever.
I actually did that so fast, though. She must have trained herself for weeks. Oh wait, I think she did say that.
An eagle. Where else have I seen an eagle?
Alright,
Back already?
Were you able to find anything out about Jake's engineer, that James Thurston guy?
Good news and bad news. The good news is he had a wife in Copper Gorge, so he may have had children.
The bad news is our internet service provider stopped providing before we could use our cell phones to find out anything else.
That's okay. We can do more checking when we get to Copper Gorge.
Right.
yes. Okay, cool. Elk. Or is it moose? Copper guys! Creepy. Let's go here first.
Yes,
You startled me. Do you work here?
I do. Are you looking for someone?
Yes, Camille Hurley. She died back in the 1800s.
Ah, Camille. Beautiful crypt, wonderful view, good drainage. Whoever buried her must have loved her very much.
May I go inside it?
You may, but unfortunately you can't.
Why
Aw.
not?
I accidentally dropped the key down the grate that's in front of the crypt. If you can retrieve it, you can keep it. I'm having another one made. But if you do go into the crypt, just remember, you won't be alone.
Oh, that guy does a great job of being creepy.
Can't get in without a key.
I know, I know.
Well, there's the key. I'll never get that key at this rate.
Stop being so pessimistic.
Hey there! Welcome to Buell's Old Time Taffy House. Come on over here. Welcome, stranger. Listen, you by any chance get here on that private train what's parked out yonder?
As a matter of fact, yes, I did.
There's a rumor going around that Charlena Purcell's on board. Is that true?
As a matter of fact, yes, it is.
Hot dang if that don't beat all. I've read every single book that gal's ever written. Best writer whatever lived. Did she get off the train too?
I don't think so. She's pretty busy.
Charlena Purcell herself right here in Copper Gorge, breathing the same air as me. Hot dang! Well, welcome, little missy. Go on in and take a gander at what life was like during the heyday of Copper Gorge whilst you sample some of our delicious homemade saltwater taffy.
So this is some kind of museum?
Why, it's the best kind of museum, sister. It's free. You can gape and gawk and ooh and ah to your heart's content. Least you can till I close up.
Where'd all this stuff come from?
Been in the family for years. For centuries, in fact.
Really?
See, Buell was my great-great-uncle. This building used to be his general store. During the glory days back in the 1880s, he commenced a pawnbroker. So the miners Copper Gorge was crawling with back then could raise some cash to pay for grub and tools and such. But pretty soon, the mining boom went bust. And there was Uncle Buell, stuck with a whole store full of junk. Only it wasn't junk to him. Debris from lost lives and broken dreams, is what he called it. Couldn't bring himself to get rid of it. So, passed it on to his kin. My great-granddaddy's the one who come up with the idea of turning the place into a tourist attraction.
No offense, but it doesn't look like you're attracting that many tourists.
That's 'cause it's the off-season. Come summer, we're rolling in tourists. Mostly on account of the taffy. Tourists just love taffy. Especially when you dangle a free sample in front of them to get them hooked. Of course, it ain't really free. Some taffy on a stick'll cost you 2 tokens. Which you can get by winning both those games over there.
Are they hard?
Danged if I know. Come to think of it, I've never played them. But you're getting me off track here, missy. Fact of the matter is, they're free. Unless you go messing with the artifacts I got in here.
Artifacts.
Do that and you'll be headfirst in the nearest snowdrift before you know what hit you.
Do
I
you by
doubt
any
she
chance
would
have
know,
any of Jake
but-
Hurley's things in here?
Jake who?
Hurley. He was a miner. I think he may have left a lamp and a pickaxe with your great-great-uncle.
Never heard of him. Of course, that don't mean his stuff's not here. Just means you're just gonna have to look around and see for yourself. But remember, Susie Q, don't touch.
Just like any other museum.
Pleasure talking to you.
Be right here if you got any questions.
My guess is she doesn't even have any Poppy Dada paintings.